Welcome back. Thanks for staying with us. Let's continue to bring you reaction following the resignation of Kabelo Gwamanda, who has resigned as the executive mayor of the city of Johannesburg. Let's speak to Isaac Lentsoane of Abahlali Mzansi, joining us to give us his reaction there. Very good evening to you. Thank you so much for your time. What is your reaction as you learned that Kabelo Gwamanda has handed in his resignation?
As Abahlali, we've just realized that the pressure was too much on the poor guy, but at the same time, we as Abahlali, we just don't support the shuffling of the politicians because they cost us a great deal. Ever since Kabelo was in office, we had to send so many requests which are costing Abahlali a great deal because we are dealing with land and marginalized people. Most of our areas where we have our people staying there, they don't have services such as water, they don't have a proper infrastructure, and just say the service delivery that they deserve, they don't get it. So it is affecting us a great deal for the city to change the mayors like their own shoes or whatever you can call it.
Yeah.
Ever since the city started doing this, we never benefited anything as Abahlali when speaking of service delivery. We therefore do not appreciate the game that they're playing.
Are you saying, I mean, you did make mention that he was under a lot of pressure, which was exerted by, opposition parties, civil society organizations, arguing that Kabelo Gwamanda's tenure had been marred by unmitigated failure and that he was simply not even qualified to lead the country's largest metro. Are you of the view that he could have done better, or you were happy with the performance that you saw as he was still in his position?
The first thing that we must take into account, hence we as Abahlali don't believe in politics, we made it clear that the people in our face, the people are those councillors, you name them, the officials, they are not in charge of anything. Their boss are in charge. We therefore would not blame the poor guy or anyone who will come in. The problem lies with their leaders or their masters, let me put it that way. And a problem with Kabelo Gwamanda, he's bit hated by the, let me say, the colonizer, because if you look at the complaints that were coming in, they are the political party that belongs to the colonizer himself. So we are not as Abahlali going to put a lot of blame on the poor guy to say that he didn't match the standard, because in South Africa or in Africa, in a nutshell, they're looking for someone who will satisfy the master. Once you satisfy your community, you don't qualify. The master must be happy with you, like saying you must be eloquent, you must speak fluent English, you must have that kind of education, that colonial.
So are you essentially saying that Gwamanda was a scapegoat?
Yeah, let's put it that way. Because if you look at Al-Jamaa itself, Al-Jamaa is a smaller party, if I may say, in our political landscape, and Al-Jamaa doesn't have a record of having a mayor. I don't know if they did have a mayor somewhere, but here in our territory, we never had Al-Jamaa saving people. But the period that Kabelo Gwamanda occupied the office. To us as Abahlali Mzansi, didn't make that huge difference comparing to the mighty ANC that we are still wounded. We wouldn't allow anyone from the ANC to occupy the office or to replace Kabelo Gwamanda because ANC, in fact, the politics, we don't believe in politics as Abahlali, but ANC appears to be the one that is terrorizing our community.
Yeah, because what we do know is that the ANC is likely now to back the current finance MMC, Dada Morero, to replace Kabelo Gwamanda, who was the second councillor from Al Jama before Thapelo Ahmed, only lasting a few months as Joburg mayor. What is your view of Dada Morero becoming mayor of the city of Johannesburg?
Like we said, it's a no-no. Dada Morero is coming under the ANC, and we all know how ANC operates. It's not a secret that the ANC will, the gentlemen will start where they left. And when I'm saying where they left, I mean the corruption, where the corruption they left, the gentleman must pick it up from there and goes forward. Therefore, it's a no-no for Dada Morero for ANC, unless someone we don't even know, but it's still the same. It's plowing back to the master, as I've said to you, that we as Abahlali, one of the reasons we came up with the program that Abahlali in the near future will not vote any political party until they sign our MOU, which will bind them. We just want to hold them accountable for their lies, for their empty promises, everything that they do. We are calling all our Mzansi. We are enough with politics.
What is contained in your MOU?
It's simple. It's like a service delivery. We look at the bigger picture as we are dealing with the marginalized community. We look at the bigger picture. As I'm speaking now, our community are lacking houses. We say houses, land, and etc., etc. So we start with housing. Ever since the ANC came in Abahlali, we've got more than 2,000 people who registered 1996. What do you call that for RDP houses? They are still in a waiting list. They go to the system, they shuffle the system, they sell their houses, they keep telling them we will call you, we'll do this, we'll do that, you know, all that. So they are affecting Abahlali in most cases. So we really don't appreciate the way they operate. That is why we came up with the MOU that will bind them to do. And the MOU will mean we recall you if you don't deliver according to our MOU, because the vote will be from Abahlali, no longer a political party. We don't support political parties anymore.
Very well. Thank you so much, Isaac Lentsoane, for speaking to us this evening of Abahlali Mzansi, responding to Kabelo Gwamanda's resignation and really just speaking about the mission and objectives of their formation.